Hey y'all, and welcome to episode 36, I think, of the Unseen Strands podcast, a crochet and fiber arts related podcast where I, your host Mo, am visually impaired and will be sharing with you strands of the rest of my life. I come to you from central Iowa, where I live with my 4 boys, my husband, our 3 cats, and our dog. And this again will be kind of a mini episode because I am not organized at all enough for you for a full episode, even though it's going to be probably fairly lengthy because this is the 3rd time I've recorded, and we'll see what I can remember that I've already covered or not. But it was, this will have more than just your weekly whip, which is why we're not just calling it a weekly whip episode. But if I don't do this now, I'm never going to get it done. So, this weekend was, at least for me, the 3rd annual, but they're like 10th annual, 12th something. It was the 2020 Sticks and Strings Fiber Retreat, which is now being held at a hotel on the north side of the metro instead of on the west side, which is where it was the first 2 years when I actually got first introduced to it. But this was the t-shirt for this year. You get this with your full registration. You get the t-shirt, event t-shirt, as well as I opted, as I have done every year, because as my husband said the first time, if you're going to bother to go, you might as well get the goodie bag. This year's goodie bag was these lovely totes. I mean, these are nice actual like canvas totes with a zipper top, handles. There's actually a zipper pocket here on the front. Cannot. It's a pretty big bag. It's like, I don't think it was quite 18 inches wide, but it's pretty close. There's a zipper pocket here, and another not enclosed pocket here, and just a little place that you could hang stuff from there. So yeah, these were pretty nice big bags, and the insides are fairly plain, but like I said, was still a really great tote bag, especially for all the stuff we were carrying around. Also, with our goodie bag price, we got these bags. I assume they are from the Silver Shed USA. My husband said there was no actual markings on them, but it is her style of notion bag. And there was other things inside this, but I don't have that currently in here anymore. Let's see, it came with, I think these were just in another bag, but it was just like a little paper sack. These were in a packaging, but there were these scissors, these end stoppers, a wool wash, some itty bitty tiny, these are just knitting stitch markers, metal stitch markers with beads on them. You probably cannot see those at all, and I apologize. Did I show you those? There are those pins, and I had another button here, but I don't see it now. I wonder if it got legs and walked away from me. Oh no, there it is. I had the babies interrupting one of these takes, and so I didn't know if they had gotten it. I don't know actually where this button came from, but I found it in my stuff when I got home. And finally, for our goodie bag, we received, everyone that got a goodie bag received one of these. I believe it was Amethyst Geode was the colorway. It's a Yarn Love. I don't remember which base this was. It was something silk. I'm fairly certain on that, but I'm not sure what the other material was. But each received one of those skeins, which again was the items that came in the goodie bag. Then for purchased items, this was the only thing that I still have and / can't find of my Silver Shed USA stuff. I actually got 3 bags. One was a gift for a friend that I have already given, and the other thing was the bag my husband got to house the electric eel nano in, and I have no idea where he put it. That was a Walking Dead one. It was in the clearance bin because she had a $10 drawstring or box bottoms bags, and so he got that. And I also got a Pokemon bag that went to one of my close friends. And then I found this My Little Pony bag at the last minute that I was able to snatch up, that I've already housed my husband's socks in now. That, of course, was the Silver Shed USA. Then, now, these other places, I can't tell you which shop they were at because I'm just a terrible human being. I will leave a link to the Des Moines Metro Knitters information for the event because they have a vendor list up there. But I was able to get this. I believe this looks like it might be a sliver roving. This is 100% alpaca. This one in particular is extremely soft and luxurious. And then there's also this one, which is not quite as soft, but just as lovely as an alpaca. I don't know if you can see those tags at all or what they say. But that is from one of the vendors, who also, I know that's an alpaca farm. Who also, my husband got a thing of soap from, and I was able, since my mom does not watch my podcast, I was able to get this, which is an Isabel Bloom little Iowa ornament. My mom is in love with Isabel Bloom, and my cousin actually worked for them when their stuff was purely USA based. Now the office she worked out of is still USA based, but everything else now, there might be another plant or whatever they called their work areas. There might be another one still in the United States. I can't remember because it's been a while since I've dealt with it. But at that time, she was the only one, and then they've sourced out to China all the rest of it. So yeah, my cousin actually was one of the painters on some of them. So if you see a GN and you have Isabel Bloom, that might be my cousin's paint. Paint handiwork when she did some of it for Isabel Bloom. She also, I think she did some other stuff too, but I can't remember exactly what that was. Like, she didn't start off doing paint. That's a very high up job. Now I'm missing one of these. I have actually two of this particular one. This is, again, Yarn Love Yarn. This was a BFL, I think it's BFL nylon base. My husband wanted this as a pair of socks, and Ford keeps running off with the mate to this. So it's actually up by my headboard, and I did not bring it over for you. Sorry about that, we had hurt feelings. Again, this was Yarn Love, BFL, nylon, I believe. And I actually have 90 grams because my husband needs, well, his one pair of socks was 82, and since this is a different base, I wanted to make sure I was good on my amount of yarn. Not that I have the 90 with me, I only have 70 there. That's because little thiefkins. Then I also got these three, which are a match, except for this one is a short skein, which is why I assume it has the little tag around it. I don't remember if this was Bluegate Farm or something Irish. Those two were next to each other. I can't remember. I know Bluegate Farm dyes stuff, but this is 100% alpaca, which I don't know if that was farmed yarn or if it's from, I think it's from the Irish place, the farm, which was not a local one. Like I said, the information will be in the description box of the vendors that were attending, if you click on the link, or click through. I actually forgot to bring my door prize inside, so there'll be a picture of that, hopefully here. Alright guys, I know I said I was going to just do a picture of my winnings, but I figured if I actually did video, I could kind of show you the label, so if you can read anything, because I can't see the words on the camera. But this is the yarn I won. I thought it was just 4 skeins, but it is indeed 5 skeins of this. It looks like this. Now the only issue is this isn't particularly soft. So like I was thinking of a rug, but there's definitely not enough of it to make a rug. So I would have to go out and purchase more of it, and that's why it was nice that this wasn't one of the estate yarns, so it is a yarn that's still made, I think. But yeah, I have this little bag of my 4 other skeins of this yarn. And that was my door prize winning. And then for other things, I won a Just Because drawing. And that was actually a Webs gift card that is for $25. And I'm thinking of using this for yarn to purchase for the Preemie project. The only problem is that Webs very rarely does free shipping, and when I found it over the weekend, or I've been on the Webs email list, but I don't actually read the emails because I have no desire to purchase more mass market yarn from places outside. So I've been on the email list because I got on their email list when I was back first looking at Fiber, and I just haven't done anything with it. And then I saw that they were doing their free shipping over this past weekend, and I didn't buy anything. And I don't know how often they do the free shipping, but this $25 gift card does not go very far on their yarn for the regular priced stuff. But yeah, so those were... Oh, one more thing that I won. We were part on... This was the Sunday activity. Go back to your room, please! And I'm not sure which way this book goes. But there was a set of about 13, I think, of these books. And so for our scavenger hunt, she had us split into groups of approximately 13. There were some people that didn't participate and so forth. And actually, our group barely won this particular event because I had the great idea to engineer our own drop spindle, because I did not bring my drop spindle in. It was in the car, but it was like, I can't just go out to the car by myself, so I didn't. And that would have won us without having to fashion our own. We think, now I don't know what the actual scores were, but my husband thought that it was going to be a tie between us and the other group. One of the other groups. There was only like 3 or 4 groups. But we had engineered our own drop spindle that I had my husband make, who I get to take as my assistant for the weekend. I got him to fashion a spindle out of a pen and basically a ribbon spool. Now, I think there was something about a styrofoam bowl. I didn't actually get my hands on this finished object, but I think those 2 things would have been enough. I don't know why. I think the styrofoam bowl came up before the spool of ribbon was found. But I'm like, all you need is the cap of the pen for the top to hold the yarn, and then the ribbon spool to have something for it to base against. But yeah, so we fashioned our own product for the scavenger hunt and got us that 1 point to maybe possibly win. So yeah, that was a fun thing. And then while we were at the retreat, of course, not all of this I worked on specifically there, but most of it was worked on at least partially there. I did work on some scrubbers. I don't know if I actually did any of these flat ones there. This is stuff I worked on earlier this week. I actually made 10 in total that have gone into this bag. I actually found this bag in the basement earlier in the week, or end of last week, more likely. But I couldn't find the bag of my stuffed ones, so this is all I have of the stuffed ones to show. But I worked on those, and that's nylon net that I have cut myself, and then the stuffed ones, which are these ones, I use a G-hook to make, and the flat ones, I use a I-hook to make. So that's the basic difference. This uses two strips that are done together, and then the stuffed ones are one strip flat and then on each bottom top, and then one strip in the middle for filler. So yeah, that was one project for the weekend. Another project is the husband socks, which are my Skull Crusher Mountain Groundhog's Day funny socks. Yeah, my brain is really scattered right now because I had the most horrible emotional, well, not most horrible, but a very bad emotional week this past week. And so, yeah, I'm just really scatterbrained. And it doesn't help that I've re-recorded this now. But here are my husband's socks in progress. They're approximately 45 and 44 rounds on each sock, since I'm working them 2 at a time, basically. Except they're on 2 separate 9-inch circulars, which are my Chowgu fixed 9-inch circulars with my 2.5 millimeter or 1.5 tip size. And that's got a stitch marker from Becky from Funny Farm. And what my one from, this is one of the Paradise Fiber ones that came in the February box last year. It's either jade or amethyst. I'm gonna pause for a second. Okay, sorry, I basically did that to make sure the camera was recording, because I couldn't remember if I listened for it to record or not. Okay, so I had this for the cuff, and then I'm going to be working this for the, what this won't fill out. So I will do my 52 rounds in this yarn, and then I'll still have a tiny bit left, but not a whole lot. And then I'll go change to this, which is Boomstick. These are both RebelPurl yarns. And I call them my Groundhog's Day socks because I started them on February 2nd, and then they are so far a repeat of socks that I've already done before. Like, same size, basically, and everything. So yeah. But then I will be switching to the Boomstick because I obviously don't have enough to make the entire pair. So yeah, we'll be switching out to Boomstick. That is a 75/25 merino nylon, but it is only a 438 yard merino nylon instead of the other ones that I see are usually 463. So it's a little bit different twisted yarn. And that is in my new My Little Pony bag. Then another thing I worked on, of course, was my preemie project, or my Sticks and Strings 2019 project bag for the event, which was a special purchase last year. We have my yarn for my red, white, and blue in reverse order. Actually, it might show up in the right order for you guys. Oh wait, no, red, white, not blue, white. Yeah, whatever. I am working on my first preemie hat. I did not bring my pattern, and so I stopped where because I couldn't remember how many rows of the white I was supposed to have. It doesn't really matter, but I kind of wanted to get at least the height to a point where I want to follow the pattern, what it has written, so I can take measurements from that and figure out the changes I need to make to that to make it a different size. Fun thing I had my husband do before the Sticks and Strings event is he actually 3D printed me these rings, because on these particular needles, I believe this is my size 7 tip, but they did not work with these stitch markers that I had, and since that was my baby stitch marker, I wanted it. See guys, it doesn't go on. So I had to make me these little rings. And he just made them super big so that they would work on basically anything that I have. So I can use that stitch marker on those projects. And I did move away from the DPNs because that was driving me absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's the preemie project in progress. And then my other big project I have going on, and the bag I won from Silver Streamland, or Silver Luna Golden Hue. It's in my Molly Makes bag. No, of course, the first time I recorded this, I had no problem finding my hook. Okay, there it is. I am working on my crochet project. Yay, crochet! I'm working on my scarf. It is now this big. So it is getting to the point I want it. I do want to use this whole first ball of yarn though, and so I still have that much left. Actually, I could go and weigh that because I'm home now. I can use my scale. I have that, and while we were at the event, my husband made me this stitch marker because I had a stitch marking booth, but otherwise it has my one I have from Little Trees Treasures, and which is holding the other end because I'm working on it from the middle out, so I've got almost my 2 repeats done. And then I have one of my ones from Becky. That's just it was my marker for where to start the from the opposite end, because this is actually my bottom chain here. That was marking that, but I don't really need that one anymore. So that is where I'm at on that project, and that's what I did a lot of the time that I was sitting there actually working on stuff, because I actually ripped it out a couple times because I figured out that I was doing something wrong. Not the best time for me to try and think either, because it's been an interesting time, guys. Oh, and I picked up these bags. These were actually left over on Sunday, so I just grabbed a couple. They're just Lion Brand bags. I actually got a couple of these, or no, I got one last year that was with my door prize. And yeah, we had a Tunisian class, so I have my my actual information from that in here. I don't remember which paper it is though. It'll be in these ones. I did Tunisian class, and so I think I can actually do Tunisian crochet now, but I don't have any materials to actually work on it. I thought about using that Web's gift card to get the tips to use the Knitter's Pride things, but I know at least Hannah from Cozy Cottage does not like those particular tips, but I thought that at least give me something that I could at least work on it with. But I guess we'll just see, because I did not get into that in a timely fashion. So I'm trying to pick up some of my stuff here. I did not work on a spinning activity there, but I did get my husband to work on a spinning activity there. So I'll put a picture of that in here. Sorry, I went ahead and took out my knitting. So it's been a very interesting week. If you're on my Facebook, you might have known that. I know I didn't really go over a lot of the events of the retreat. Basically, a lot of it is kind of, if you want to participate, you can. You don't have to. You can just sit and work on projects, or just sit and read, or do whatever you want during the entire weekend. They just have a couple events that are scheduled. At least in the past 3 years that I've attended, on Saturday they have a door prize draw, and everyone gets a door prize. I don't know if that will continue. I think it'll kind of just depend on who all is there, but that is, I think, a big highlight, is that everyone does get something back. And a lot of that is donated items from companies, but this year a lot of that came actually from an estate that they had purchased items from. So that was nice. I did not get one of the estate ones. I thought I had an estate prize, but then we found the thank you card later, because they have a thank you card that they like you to fill out for any of the donated items. So yeah. Then Saturday nights they have a fashion show, and next year they are hoping to have a special guest to do the fashion show, and I guess we'll just kind of have to see how that works out. So next year they're hoping to have Stephen B at this particular event, and I guess they've been in talks with him, because I sat at one of the organizers' tables because there was no chairs on Friday night, and so we were looking around on Saturday. We thought they might have a couple more tables up, but they didn't really move anything, so there were not extra tables for us. but she had been taking up more than her fair share of seats, so she offered me and my husband a seat at her table. So I heard some of the background, and I told my husband my theories that it was Stephen B. that they were talking about, and by the end of the event that was confirmed that that was indeed the person they were kind of dropping hints about on the day before. But they're hoping he will be attending, and so if he does attend, they are kind of suspecting that it will be a sellout event next year. And honestly, they've always said that they have approximately 100 spots for this event. The last 2 years before this year that I've attended, they've had about 60 people attend for the Saturday event. And this year they were up to around 75 to 80 people. Now, I'm just giving vague numbers because I don't know what the final count was. I just kind of overheard things, so that was in the range that they were. And honestly, I don't know how you would comfortably fit 100 people. They said that room in particular is supposed to fit like 180 people, but that would be like super tight. Because at 100 or at 75 people, you know, it wasn't crowded, but it wasn't a lot of empty space either. So that will be interesting if there's 100 people next year and if it's a sold out event. I do hope that it is, just because I think that's great for them to have that. And I guess we'll just have to see, because I like my stuff small and cozy, and as it gets bigger it makes me more nervous that I can actually attend it. Yeah, so that was the Sticks and Strings retreat this year. Like I said, we did a scavenger hunt. That was on Sunday. Friday night was vendors night, and Saturday is fashion show door prizes. I don't know what else I can give you for that. The interesting thing for me was this was just kind of an escape I needed for the week, because, surprise guys, I'm blind. Did you know that? Yeah, I wanted to do that in its own little video, but I couldn't find the right graphic stuff in the editor to do it. I had this vision exam that I was supposed to do on Friday for the department for the blind, and my counselor kind of bailed on me. And I didn't find out on this until I showed up to this appointment. And there's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been, like, should be, I don't know how the best way to do it. I'm kind of trying to be vague because I don't want to give out too much personal information. But at the same time, this is not how you handle a situation. But now things are on the right foot. I have a new counselor, since my other counselor seemed to be inept at doing her job. And hopefully the tears out in public are now a thing of the past. One can hope. As a lot of the staff there didn't realize that things were going badly, which is just, you know, I didn't have any information to contact other people, or, you know, the knowledge of what I need to say to who to get something moving, because I didn't even see this before, but on the page there was a counselor's expectations and responsibilities, so I was actually able to pull direct items off that list that my counselor had failed to do. And, you know, it was only 3 items, but that is a huge 3 items. And then I was looking through the department's, like, mission statement, and trust is in there a lot. And yeah, she totally broke all my trust. And so I'm hopefully onto a better road here with my job search and so forth, as I have a new counselor, and she's already seems to be a little more with it than my previous counselor. Now, I don't want to be super mean to the old counselor, because I do think she's had some major health issues that were part of this, but at some point you have to say, you know, my health is getting in the way, I need to pass this on. And that's where I got left behind in the dust, is because she did not pass it on and did not tell anyone she needed help. Now, I can totally understand not wanting to reach out and say you need help, but when other people are counting on you, you kind of have to reach out and say you need help. So hopefully we're moving in the right direction now. I have my new counselor. I have them trying to locate the information that from my eye exam that says I'm still blind, because the way they tested my vision, I basically have no vision, according to them, even though, as you all know, I have some. It's just very particular. I just have to be a special sauce of crazy. We all know that, right? But yeah, and Leo has been basically accident-free since last week. Now, he hadn't been doing overnights, but the last 2 overnights he has been dry. And he's had poop accidents over the week since I've last recorded, but not pee-related accidents that I know of. Now, I was not with him half of the week because he was at Grandma's so that I could do this eye exam and so that I could do my retreat. And so I can't vouch for all of it, but some of that, you know, is I wasn't there, so I don't know. But he's getting there. Now, Zane, on the other hand, like today, I'm kind of giving up on him because it's getting too stressful for me because he just doesn't care that I want him to be potty trained. And it's not that he's not ready. He was actually the first that was dry for an extended period of time. Like, when we went out in public, he was actually dry. But I don't even know how to explain it. We'll go in there, he says he doesn't have to pee, but yet if you make him stay in there for like 5 minutes, then he'll end up peeing anyway. But if you let him go back in his room, he'll pee in his diaper. I don't know. I can't get heads or tails with which direction I need to go with the potty training, because rewarding him doesn't help. Punishing him, of course, doesn't help. Doing the other things, I mean, I've gone to potty breaks every 15 minutes, and I still get accidents in between that, and going beyond that is just ridiculous and not possible, because I've done it. I've done 5 minutes, and I still have accidents in between. Yeah, guys, that is stress life, and I decided I could not physically maintain that, so I've given it up to the 15 minutes, and like today, I'm just not even dealing with it. But Leo has made some sort of progress, so at least that's a happy. Jeremy had band concert last night, and yeah, hopefully someday I'll be able to get some kind of work so that I can fund some of these fun things for you and have more stuff to share. Oh, something I forgot to share last time. I have I find it the most hilarious blind story for you. So a couple weeks ago, I went back to the dentist, which was the start of another rabbit trail of interesting medical stuff. But I was in my dental hygienist appointment, and the hygienist is like, "Do you brush your own teeth?" And I'm just like, how else am I supposed to get it done? Like, she honestly didn't know how a blind person could possibly brush their own teeth. It was just absolutely hilarious to me. It's like, there's some questions that visual people ask that are just absolutely hilarious. I know another popular one that I've heard of in the last year was, how do blind people wipe afterwards? And I'm just like, how does a visual person, like, why do you need eyes for that? It's not a visual activity. Oh, but that just completely tickled my funny bone. I shared that with my mom, and that also tickled her funny bone, to think that a blind person couldn't possibly brush their teeth because they can't look in the mirror. Yeah. I guess that is a story from a hygienist, because, you know, not many people have access to those not high-powered, but those fancy little mirrors to get to those back teeth and investigate them super close. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm sure it's been way too long. I know I've left out a ton of stuff, but I wanted to get with you to let you know that the department story is hopefully coming to an end, and hopefully I'll be making some moves forward in the near future. I wanted to share with you the stuff from Sticks and Strings. I'm still working on these socks. I did just now get to 45 on each of these. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and we'll check in with you guys later. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this mini episode, I'd appreciate if you could hook the like button and subscribe. Talk to you later, guys.